Today on the Auburn Torch, we're talking about Auburn volleyball and a long week ahead and a busy week ahead. Let's get into it. So I got a little carried away yesterday. Went for like 25 minutes on yesterday's Torch Talk, which is way longer than I like. My thought for this thing would be, 10 to 15 minutes every day. Really more like 7 to 12. We had so much to talk about for the weekend. I should have saved some of it. I should have saved something for like Tennis Tuesday or something. We're gonna try to get out of here much quicker this time. Well, I was experimenting with the press conference clips and everything else. I got so excited. I got a little carried away. So we're gonna keep it a little tighter today. Looking at the all sports calendar, nothing today. Tomorrow, Auburn men's basketball at Missouri on the road, and then Thursday, a rivalry game for women's basketball at home with Alabama, 8 o'clock p.m., so late night with Larry Vickers. And then busy weekend, about as busy as it gets, honestly. Swimming with Florida on Friday. So swimming's interesting because, we're looking at gymnastics is just starting its season, and tennis is just starting its team season, and both basketball teams kind of just started SEC play, so everyone's kind of warming up. But swimming is kind of at the peak of the schedule. Swimming is in it right now. They've got like a couple more meets, and then it's SECs, and then it's NCAA. So they are trying to peak right now. And the reason I was actually listening to the Andy Burcham's, I guess it's This Week in Auburn Swimming. And they were saying that it's at 11 a.m. because at SECs and at NCAAs, that's when prelims are. They're earlier in the day. They're at 11 a.m., so that's why they're having this meet at 11 a.m. So if you got Friday off, you could also see women's tennis at against either Western Carolina or UAB at home at Yarborough. And then Saturday, just loaded weekend. Men's tennis at home. Is it? Yes, men's tennis at home, track and field back in Birmingham again, this time for Sanford. They were at UAB last weekend. And then men's basketball at home against South Carolina. And then on Sunday, women's tennis is at home. Men's tennis also has another one. Okay. And then gymnastics is on a Sunday this week instead of a Friday. So busy weekend. But what I want to talk about today on a Tuesday is volleyball. I gotta break this pattern of, I wrote a story and now I'm gonna do this. And now on the Torch, I have to tell you all about my story and you have to hear about it. And this is my class presentation about this thing I did. But no, this isn't that. This isn't gonna be that. Up now on auburntorch.com. Posted it yesterday on Monday. If you're listening, you may have already checked it out. It's Auburn picked up 3 transfers from the portal, all Power 4, all of them. Figures they could contribute right away, really. Instant impact kind of players, and they all go into different position groups. But what I wanted to kind of look at today was Mark commented and said he liked the shout out to Mark. He said he really liked the sports 101s, and this one I had just a little blurb, volleyball 101, trying to explain, and this some of this comes straight from, Brink. It's not my knowledge. It's something I'm learning from the coaches in general, right? But not all of it. If I say something dumb, don't attribute it to them. But just trying to pass along something I'm learning about the sport, because all of us are kind of entering a lot of these. I would imagine, especially Auburn fans. I mean, this is football country, right? So we're entering a lot of this kind of from a novice level, right? But he was saying he really liked a little blurb I did, which was just about the right side hitter, who would be in this article, it's the new right side is Anastasia Ivkovic from UCLA, and I was trying to explain kind of the importance of the right side hitter and what uh, just the importance of it and what role they play, what position they play, what you're looking for. If you say you're going into the transfer portal, you're trying to find somebody, what kind of addition could it be? So I just kind of want to explain that. I kind of want to just explain, and I think by doing that, we could kind of talk about all the other positions as well. Rookie stuff, novice level stuff, but I think we could waste a few minutes and get an episode out. If you're a podcast listener, we're gonna get visual here. So you can tune up, pull up the YouTube later, or it's directly on auburntorch.com. The video is there. So we're looking at court, and we'll go ahead and so I'll just label these positions. So let's say the setter just happens to be serving, and we're gonna put the libero here. I've got video too. This will get more exciting. This will get more interesting, I promise. And then you'll find that your outside hitter is here, and oftentimes your other outside hitter's over here. And then you'll find that there's a middle blocker, so that's the tall one, right? That's the tall girls. You know them. And then over here is your right side hitter, or your opposite side hitter, your oppo, right? So first of all, the thing is, everybody's best player is going to be right here. Everybody's best player, let me get a marker here. Everybody's best player is going to be on the left, okay? The reason for that is, and again, speaking in general, but pretty much everybody's the best player, they're going to put them right here because this is the player who's going to have the most swings in a match. So it's got to be your best player, right? Basically, your best attacker. Obviously, your libero could be your best player, and they're 5'2", but they're on the back. Okay, but your best attacker is always going to be here on the left, and there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them, I'll show you on the video. Is it's just easier to set to the left. It's always easier to set left, and then the other thing is when they come up to attack here at the top of the net, their angles, because they're usually right-handed, right? So a right-handed hitter, the angles are there's just better angles when you're going up, you have your right hand and the entire playing surface, the entire playing field, all your targets are to the right, and the ball's it's kind of like, I guess a little bit like the tennis we were talking about, where it's easier to send the ball back where it came, right? So the ball, if it's being set from your right, you're setting it to the left, so it's come from your right, and then you're, hitting with your right hand, the angles are open because if it's a sharper angle if you're trying to turn it this way, right? So, so it's just better angles from here, and I've got an example if I can find it. So I've got an example of a very basic volleyball play here. Volleyball play to the left, right? So there's a very basic hit to the left. This is from Auburn's Twitter. I had to download it because Twitter was janky. But credit Auburn's Twitter account, right? So yeah, basically dig from defensive specialist or libero. Somebody, well, I guess I'll leave Liz Markowska, but anyway, dig. You're in system because your second one is the setter, right? So it's going to the setter. This is the quarterback of your volleyball team, and she is coming over here. She has two options, right? Or she could go here. She could to the left. She has two options to the left. You'll see her right shoulder is to the net, and typically that's the case because it's just always better to go to the left. Is the way it was explained to me, and hopefully you'll kind of see some of that. So so here's Auburn's best attacker, Lauren Dreves, on the left side. Gather, boom, there you go. But you see what you'll see is kind of, think about their body positions here is what I'm trying to see. They're facing each other, right? So for her, this is another reason your best is on the left, because when she comes up to the net and gathers and she's right-handed, when you're right-handed, you're rolling your right shoulder back, you're cocking your arm that way, right? And your left shoulder goes a little bit forward. So she's the court vision, right? She is facing the setter and the opposite court. She's facing everything, right? And she's facing the ball. So the ball is up. She's open to the ball. Her shoulders are open to the ball. She's facing the ball, and then coming around on the ball, right? If you went the other way, just imagine it. If you went the other way, which you can do, and I have an example. But if you went the other way, think about it. Your right shoulder is going, your shoulder's crossing the ball, right? Your right shoulder's crossing. If you're right-handed, on the right, and the ball's coming from your left, your shoulder's crossing the ball, and you've got to kind of come around, and it just makes it a harder shot, right? And they could have gone oppo on this set, sure, but and they do, and yeah, I'll go ahead and show you an example of that. But when things are bad, say you have a bad set, or your first, how it is, your first touch is digging the ball off the ground or from way over here, so you're not in a picture perfect position. Like Chanel, the setter is in a perfect position right here, but say it's not picture perfect, you can still go to the left because you can the attacker can kind of gather the ball. The ball is in front of them. They have a full kind of, I guess, grasp of it because they're facing it, so. And I promise I'm going to tell you all these stories to tell you another story. But here is, I think this is an oppo attack. Okay, yeah. So this is the other way, and I just want you to kind of see the body positioning, right? Like, see, it's less open. It's less open, right? And Bell does this is Bell Zimmerman, who was their right side. Does a great job, and you can do this. This is a viable play, right? This is good. But it's just a little less, I guess, high percentage to get your swing. Like it's a tendency breaker, I guess, for basic volleyball, because look, the body positioning just is not, and Chanel has to do a behind the back pass, which are sick, and and we encourage, and if you're a basketball fan, you like a good behind the back pass, you'll love some of these volleyball setters. Behind the back pass, but yeah, like you just see her shoulder. It's just more technical, and she's got, it's just tougher, right? So that's a, and when it works, and it's awesome, right? So I tell you that to tell you this, okay? I told you that story to tell you this story, okay? So these are your positions, right? So if you flip it the other way, so what's the other team have? Outside hitter, right? Middle blocker, right side, right? And then over here, whatever, this is a little more fluid back here. Setter, libero, and then another outside hitter. You'll see two out. You see, and because of all these reasons of why it's easier to go left, you kind of have both your outside hitters over here on the left, right? You probably can't see my mouse. You probably have both. You see, there's two over here, right? And then sometimes one's backline, whatever. So all to say, now, what is Auburn getting out of the transfer portal? What was one of the things they were looking for? What was my volleyball 101 about? It was about this right here, the right side, because you'll notice, who does the right side match up with, right? That's their Lauren. That's their best attacker, right? And on the other side, here's your best attacker. So the right side goes right up against the best attacker, right? So your best, you don't get best on best. It's not like that, right? Your left side outside hitter goes up against their right side outside hitter. So so there are a few different qualities you want in your right side hitter, right? So they're a little bit more of a defensive player because they're going to be going up against their best player. And obviously height helps with that. Blocking ability, you want blocking ability, and height helps you have blocking ability, right? But you're also just more of a defensive, you have to be a very tough player to go up against the other team's best. And I have an example of that as well, and this will be my last one. But this is a great example because this is Texas's best player number 4, who's literally Ashley Stafford. I think her last name's Stafford. Stafford, number 4 up here. They're left side here. They're outside here. First team All-American. First team All-SEC. Blah, 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 blah. Everything in the world. Okay, she's incredible, right? So, they're going to go to her, right? And in this particular point, this is a great shot from the back line by Liz Markowska. In this particular point, the right side maybe didn't get a block, but they were able to, get in her way, get in her way, and get, didn't just let her have the open court, right? So you want to put a lot of height on her. You want to go up there and try to block her, try to mess with her, try to affect her shot. And the right side did that here, and Auburn was able to get the point, right? So it goes from pretty bad, like first team All-American has a shot, right? To no, we got a piece of it, and or we adjusted it. Maybe she knew she can't come straight ahead because the right side was right there. So anyway, so that's the right side hitter. So the right side goes up against their best, and yeah. So like the clip I showed with this was Zimmerman, who was Auburn's right side. Like, to be able to do this is great. Like, that's awesome. And then another task you have is to defend on the other side, right? So sometimes a ball could come over here and you're attacking, but a lot of it is you need to go up and you need to, block this outside hitter. So all to say, what was Brent Crouch or what was Auburn looking for in the portal? What do you need? You need some height. You need height, blocking ability, but also, it'd be nice is some experience or some grittiness or some experience and maybe even life experience and just that strength or experience to be courage to go up against the best players in the SEC who are going to be opposite you. And so what Brent was saying is that, he's got bodies, like he has freshmen coming in who have arms and have that ability, but he would much rather let them play as freshmen over here on the left. He would much rather do that than force them, because this is the Wolves' Den, right? Like this is the Wolves' Den, right? Because you're opposite this. So go out, find a junior from UCLA. That's who Anastasia Ivkovic is. Rising junior, 6'3", has the height, has gone up against some really great players in the Big Ten. There you go. So just is a junior, is an upperclassman, is just has more. This is a girl who's been on the U19 Serbian national team, who just has played a lot of sets and been up against a lot of different opponents. And you just don't want to. One of the things he was thinking of is, we got to go get a portal right side, preferably older, preferably tall. And there you go. And then found someone who checks all the boxes. So that's just one position. That's just the right side. There's a little bit more. You will learn about Auburn's newest libero edition, and a little bit about the setter position is also in that story if you check it out. Here we go. I've probably gone long again. I don't know. But let me call it right here. Thanks for tuning in. And again, the All Sports calendar, we've got another empty day for us. For the Auburn men's basketball game. Check out auburnobserver.com for full coverage of that. And then, but we'll just count down to the weekend, busy weekend, and it starts Thursday. So a long weekend and a busy weekend. So we'll be here, and we'll be back tomorrow here at auburntorch.com.